How's everybody doing in YouTube land? You know, this early April, the weather's starting to get warmer. It's a nice time to go outside. But I hope you are doing well. And I hope this is something that might entertain you, inform you, and inspire you to go outside. Because we're going to talk about something nice today. And this is the USGI, United States government issue, MOLLE 2 large rucksack. And this is an actual issued piece of equipment. So for those people who are in the military, like myself, I'm in the Army Reserve. This is not for you. This is for people who are, into surplus shopping and maybe some budget gear, who want some information to be informed. So this will both entertain and inform you. So check this out. I had already filmed this before in the park. I was actually doing some hiking. But the camera I was using, by the way, this is the camera that got smashed. I referenced it in my last video. I got it fixed. I had it, it was all cracked and everything. I fixed it. However, it had a big smudge mark on the lens. Totally ruined the footage. But back on point. I'm just going to tell you overall, I like this pack. I think a lot of you who are looking for something affordable, durable, comfortable even, you're going to want this. It's not perfect though. So let's get into the specs. First, made in USA. Number 2. It is rated at 4,000 cubic inches with the pack itself. With the 2 sustainment packs that you see on the left and on the right, it brings the total volume to 5,000 cubic inches. That means each sustainment pack is 500 cubic inches alone. So you have a lot of room to play around, to pack your gear in, anything you want to do. So now, also, let's move this camera up as we talk about it. The material is Cordura nylon, from what I understand. And I'll be honest, it's hard to find because it's a brand name and the military does not like to advocate and promote brand names. But if I can find it again in our documentation, I'll put it on here. Now this pack, as you can see, is got MOLLE webbing here, or PALS webbing, sorry. PALS webbing here. This particular one has where's my E-tool? Right here, it's got the E-tool. This is in the UCP pattern, which is Universal Camouflage Pattern, which, as I mentioned in the other videos, is the obsolete pattern, but here in Korea, they're still issuing this, so it's still good. And also, I need to also mention, is of course the big brother to this pack, and this is designed to connect to this, to make one unit. And that is something that's worth considering. If you're someone who wants into budget camping, maybe part of your hiking gear, definitely your bug out gear, this set might be worth something for you to consider. Just a thought. So anyway, you have all this webbing, you have the D-hooks here, and of course, this is designed to separate from here so that you can put these on another backpack, like on that assault pack. You could put you have these D-rings, you could actually make a shoulder strap out of it. Whatever you want to do. And I should need to also mention, the reference material for this will be the technical manual, operator's manual for the modular lightweight load carrying equipment, MOLLE 2, dated November 2009. I personally got this in 2010. I've had this for 10 years. Just so you know, this is somebody who's used it a lot. So, this is not someone who just has it in his basement and, makes a review. No, I've actually used this thing for a decade now. And I also got this, man. These came from this Central Issue Facility, also called CIF, but you can find these online. Just Google these, Google the TM right here, and you will find a reference to this. I will also put the original video from 1999 when this whole system came out and it was showing you how to assemble it. You'll find it informative and enlightening. And speaking of enlightenment, let's go on. Okay, so you got these ITX Buckles, right? They open up. The pack itself is fairly simple. You have your drawstring here. Now you can see my cord lock is missing here, so I just went ahead and simply tied it together. You do come with one mesh cover, closed with Velcro. I tend to keep small items in here like the CIF manuals. I will keep a multi-tool in here, Sometimes even laundry, because we use this for traveling. And like here in Korea, like when we go to the ranges, depending on where we go, they have laundry machines. And so I like to have a little bit of spare laundry soap in here so that when we're staying in a couple days there, I don't have to think about it. I just leave it in here, keep this part of my pack, and forget about it and have it when I need it. Now, what I've done is for demonstration purposes, I've kind of set this up as a combination of what I really do every day, or like when I use this, how I set it up, and what you can do with it. So let's take a look at this. Oh yes, I need to mention, as part of this, how I set it up. You notice down here, let's unbuckle this. You have the zipper here from YKK Zippers, by the way. And this gives you access to the sleeping bag. This is the modular sleep system. And I must confess that with the modular sleep system, in theory, you're supposed to have, as far as I know, you're supposed to have all 4 bags bundled up in here, and you're supposed to be able to pull it out. I can't do that. I've never been able to do that. So what I simply do is I just leave this zipped up, and I will access it from the top. Here, as this camera will show, I got a pair of boots. Issued sleeping mat. This is from 2008 originally. 2010 is when I got this. So I've had this for 12 years. This is comfortable, it works. Now if you're here at Camp Humphreys or you're in USFK land, you'll see the soldiers. They had those new thermal rest pads. Newer, I should say. They're not exactly new. Been around for a few years. Made in USA, about $100 off Amazon if you're curious. But they don't fit in here like this does. They are too long, so it has to go out like here. All right, but you got that. And then you have the sleeping bag. And you can see here, as part of this whole way you can divide up your pack, you have a separate compartment here that can be zippered or tied down. Again, I personally, without like risking damaging the sleeping bag, cannot get this thing packed down to where I feel comfortable zipping that down. It seems like you're gonna have, if you don't know about the modular sleep system, you have a Gore-Tex bag, you have a light patrol bag, you have the heavy sleeping bag, and of course you got the compression sack. It just seems like to me to make this all work, you have to make a compromise. Like take out your patrol bag or something, make it smaller, and then everything here will zip up. It'll be separated. You can access it from here like the book shows, but in reality, I don't use it that way. I just use as much space as possible. And you also see one of the funky features about this. You're 110 liters with all this together. And yet, your sleeping bag takes up half your space. So in the real world, like if you're gonna do like, say like in Korea where we have all 4 seasons, it gets really cold in the winter, and you might have to take your sleeping bag with everything on a ruck march or field training exercise. You gotta make room for the boots, you gotta make room for uniforms, you gotta make room for your snivel gear, blah, blah. You don't have a lot of room. Now, summertime, when you can strip out this whole, summertime, this whole thing can come out, frees up everything. Just for those who are curious and maybe want to do your shopping around your surplus, keep that in mind. All right, so that's basic. Oh, and I should mention, because of the Cordura nylon, you see how you got this coating here? This does provide water resistance, but it's not waterproof. You will see variations of this pack. And I don't know how these soldiers got it. I've seen some with the drawstring. I mean, actually like a dry bag where it actually had a draw bag here with a string. Pretty cool, way better than the way this is. In fact, the video I'll link with you for the original 1999 issue of this, I think had that on there for their rucksacks. I've seen soldiers have zippers up here. I saw one guy, he actually had these female connectors, like the female connector was here to buckle along with these straps. So when he put his assault pack, instead of being like mine, which is here, it was more like the Tech Magneil shows like this, which was pretty cool. I'd like to know how they got this stuff. Like what CIF did they have to go to do it, because that was pretty nice. And I'll get to the pouches in a moment. Let's get to the back. Now the back, as you can see, relatively thin emphasis on relatively thin pads for a pack this size. You've got your chest strap, of course. And just like the assault pack, you have these quick release buckles, right? You pull that out. Yeah, of course. There we go. You pull that out. Quick release. They work pretty well. Overall, they work well, and I do like them. You've got the hip belt. See the straps? These straps can be tucked right into here, which is very convenient. Nice way to put it away when you don't need it, as I'm doing right now. Now, you will see here, the hip belt is not the most thickest. It doesn't have the most lumbar support. And there's a reason for that, because this is designed to go over your kit, right? So maybe you're wearing this thing, the IOTV vest. It's designed to fit over that. So when you think about it, if you're going to wear it over your gear, you're not necessarily going to be able to take advantage of the whole lumbar support, and you're not really going to need thick straps. So that's why these tend to be kind of thinner. Look at this Eberly pack. Look how much thicker it is. This is super comfortable, by the way. This is good, super comfortable. And also, you notice how wide it is too? That's because, again, you've got this really wide pack so you can put your gear on. And this should be kind of like fitting around your kit. The pros of this right now, as I'm showing you, when you buy this or when it's issued, it should all be assembled together. All you got to do is just throw it on. There's no adjustments. It's not like this Eberly stuff where you can pull this out and adjust this up and down. You just throw it on. Of course, that's a disadvantage because it's a one size fits all. In the military, you know, we've got people of various size. Some people like 5 feet tall, 6.5 feet tall. My size, 5'11". 5'11". This is great. If you're like 5'10", 5'11", even 6 feet, you're gonna find this pack is beautiful. It fits just fine. But if you start getting to the extremes, this will be an issue for you. So test it out. You see, oh yeah, see right here, this is where you put your name tag. That's how old these is. There's no Velcro even to put your name, no name tapes. You just take a piece of paper and shove it in there somewhere where nobody can see it or even access it readily, and poof. The frame is Gen 4. Now, if you go online and you talk to veterans and stuff from way back in the day, they will complain about this. They have creaky, it breaks and stuff. It's fine. Unfortunately, like when I was in the park and I filmed this last week, I had like thrown it down. I could jump on it, and you know, just to demonstrate how well it worked. This particular one's been tossed out of Humvees, LMTVs, rolled down hills, slept on, jumped on, a bunch. Oh, tossed off my balcony even. Tossed off there. It's good. I have no issues with this. 10 years old, it's taken abuse. It's fine. And you also notice now with these sustainment pouches, I've kind of set this up to show how to use it in the kind of like a real world use, like if we're going on a ruck march or something. And the pros and cons. Okay, so as part of your gear, if you're from the Central Issue Facility, you're gonna get a camelback. Now, the problem with this pack is this was designed before camelbacks were in vogue. So even though you got this piece of kit here, there's no pouch for it. There's no place to put it. So you have to improvise a solution. The solution I personally use, and it tends to be popular with a lot of people, is you use one of your sustainment pouches to tuck it in here. The problem I find is this is a 3-liter bag. So if I put 3 liters of water in here, it's not going to fit. So I usually put about 2 liters of water. Fold it over. I like to route it from the left side, right? Because the right side is your rifle hand. It's going to be your rifle arm. So I don't want my rifle to get caught up in this. So and this is just a tip for, anybody who's curious. You want your rifle arm to be free. So I keep all my gear, tubings, anything like this goes off of my offhand. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, over here. Now in this one, this pocket will hold 3 MREs. 1, 2, and 3. Not bad. You can hold your food there. Hydration, you can put it there, or I should also mention, another option is you take this, lay it across here, but you gotta have your gear stuffed in here to bring it up here. And then just run it that way. That works for some people too. And there's more options you could play with. Heck, you could even like set this thing up, like fasten it down here and let it run through here. That might work. But I find that to be messy, and I hate messy solutions. I like clean, elegant, and simple. So, again, let me say, overall, this is a good package. It's worth, like, if you're looking for budget gear that works, especially American made, this will work for you. But is there any cons? Yeah, sure. You know, it's a 20-plus-year-old design. Yeah, 1999. 21-year-old design. You don't have the Velcro for those who want it. You don't have a place to put your hydration bladder. So it's an updated design. There's no adjustments to it. So if you need, like if you're like me, if you have shoulder injuries even, maybe you have a bad back and you really need to get that customized comfort and stuff, this is not for you. Or it may not be for you. And also another characteristic of this thing, and this is where being in the park can be real handy. And I'll show you here with these doors in a second. Notice how this design is wide. When you look at European packs, like some stuff I've seen from England, the British Army, the other European armies, they tend to make their packs long, right, to go with your spine. We make ours wide. And the big issue with that is, I mean, some of this just boils down to preferences and stuff, but the problem with this is, packing is easier, in my opinion. It's easier to access gear when you have it wide. But like in Korea, we have a lot of trails, especially in the mountains and stuff you go through. They're very narrow. Like, this is like, look how wide this is. Now, imagine having like a trail here, a tree here. Yeah, here's your trails, like this wide. We have these trails here. And you've got trees, bramble and stuff. You can't walk through it without getting caught up. Imagine being in the barracks, a soldier here in the barracks, and you have to get this thing through your front door. It can be a challenge. So personally, I'm in my basement right now. I will occasionally take this hiking, but for my own personal exercise, fitness stuff, I'll take it hiking, but not very much because it's such a chore to get it from down here, out that door, up the stairs. It takes a lot of finesse. It's just a hassle. Or I could take it through that door too, but those steps are narrow. Those steps are very narrow. It's horrible. It's a pain. It's a pain in the butt. However, hence why I like using this Eberly stock. I can load up the Eberly stock, thin profile, customized comfort. I can get Army, we use 35 pounds, our standard weight. I can get 35 pounds in here using different gear. I get a comfortable fit, easier to carry. Just to be honest, when it comes to my typical hikes and stuff, I'll prefer to carry this. Hence, it's one reason why I use this and not this so much. But anyway, I just wanted to follow up on the video. Like, hope to give you guys some insight. You know, hey, I know things, we all know things are kind of bad right now. But if you get a chance, go out and enjoy the weather. And I hope some cheap gear can help you go out there, motivate you to go camping, and get away from people. Have a good one. And please like, share, comment below. And I'll see you later. Bye.